Welcome back to Between Pages and Friends, a book club podcast hosted by Con and Lauren, two besties who read a lot of books, and John and Kyle, their 5-star husbands who read fantasy books with them. I'm Kyle.
I'm Lauren.
I'm John.
And I'm Con. Today we are joined by our close friends Lindsey, Kelly, and Katharine from Banter and Bookmarks Podcast. Lauren and I have had the honor of being guests on their show twice, but this is the first time to have them on our show and for all 7 of us to be together. We are so excited to have them here to chat about all things Brimstone, so have your theories ready because we're about to dive in.
Banter and Bookmarks is hosted by 3 book besties who shared a massive 35 PowerPoint presentation about Onyx Storm to their in-person book club and found they loved deep diving, theorizing, and chatting about books together. And now we have the pleasure of hearing their podcast episodes on Fridays and seeing their amazing content on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube.
But before we jump into all the great theories, just a quick reminder that this episode will have spoilers for everything that is currently published in the Fae Alchemy series by Callie Hart. That includes Quicksilver, Brimstone, and all of the bonus chapters. If you haven't read any of these, you are welcome to pause this video and come back on another day. We have covered all of these other books and chapters on our podcast in a spoiler-free setup for you to read along with us.
That's right. If you don't like spoilers, this is the podcast for you. We're a spoiler-free space to discuss our favorite reads on the podcast. Our typical setup is that 2 of us are rereaders and 2 of us are first-time readers, giving you the chance to reread along through the eyes of a first-time reader or be a first-time reader and have a group to discuss with. We are so excited to dive into Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dineman starting next week with our first episode dropping Wednesday, February 11th, with John and Con being our first-time readers led by our rereaders, myself and Lauren.
If you love what's going on here, you'll love it even more over on Patreon. All of our Patreon tiers give you access to our Discord, where you'll find both spoiler-free and spoil-filled chat rooms for you to discuss these episodes. For $5 a month, you will become one of our book besties and gain access to live events, our monthly book club, a wide variety of reading challenges, and the full archive of past content. Become a member of our Found family by joining at $10 a month, and you'll enjoy early ad-free episodes, merch discounts, voting privileges, a private hangout space, and even more ways to connect with the 4 of us.
You're muted.
Fudge and fudge. We'd also love to invite you to the very first Dreamers and Readers Festival taking place March 6th through 8th in Dallas, Texas. It's going to be a breathtaking weekend filled with fantasy-inspired events and an expansive expo. The experience is completely customizable, so you can join us for as little or as much as you'd like. Tickets and all of the details about the many events you can choose from are available now at fantastiquecollection.com. We can't wait to gather alongside you the so many other talented authors, vendors, and creators that are going to be there. It's going to be unforgettable.
Yes. And after this episode, please don't forget to write a review on Audible or Apple Podcasts. Leave a star rating on Spotify or subscribe on YouTube. This is the best way to support and help more listeners discover this podcast. You might even get a little shout out like this one, a recent 5-star review on Apple Podcasts from our new bestie, Sparrow and Wild, titled 7 out of 7 Gods Approve of This Podcast. Do you want a warm hug from 4 of your besties every week? Then give BP&F a listen, white heart emoji. This show brings so much joy and laughter into reading, and the hosts have such amazing energy. 10 out of 10, no notes, clap emoji. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
7 out of 7 gods. I love that.
I love it.
You're muted.
Didn't
Actually like that. Okay.
Damn it. All right, everyone, let's welcome Banter and Bookmarks and talk about some Brimstone.
Lindsey, Kelly, and Katharine, welcome to Between Pages and Friends.
Hi,
We're so excited you're
so
here.
excited to have you. Yay, we're so excited to have you here. We just love you guys so much. And before we dive into our conversation, though, we want you guys to have a chance to introduce yourself to all of our listeners. So who are you? And tell us about yourselves.
We are Lindsey and Kelly. Wave Kelly. And Katharine.
Hi.
Wave Katharine. Hello. And we are the Banter and Bookmarks Podcast. We are 3 neighbors and book besties that bonded over fantasy and romantasy books and decided that we wanted to share the love and start a podcast together. And now we are emotionally dependent on each other and have a podcast together. and neighbors
Yep.
and all of all of the above. We do everything together now.
I love that.
It's totally healthy.
Yes.
Yes.
And normal.
Totally.
Well, what has the podcast journey been like for you? What's been your favorite thing about doing this together?
Oh, God. I think it's hard to pick a favorite thing because we've just been having the time of our lives. It's been just under a year since we started the podcast. We've been friends now for about 3 years because that's when I moved into the neighborhood. And it's been kind of a wild ride. I think just everything from picking our first deep dive, which was Quicksilver. And I think we did 16 episodes on Quicksilver. We just could not stop talking about it. And, getting to go to book conventions together and author interviews and it's just been a lot of fun. I think our relationships have just gotten even better. We've met so many really cool people in the wild, which has been fun. We've met you guys, which has been a blast. And I think it's just been kind of unreal. Sometimes I think I look back at the fact that it's almost been a year and I'm like, we did all that? It's been really fun and cool. Yeah.
I love that.
And you did.
Yeah, you did do it.
And we did.
And now none of you can move. You're stuck in that neighborhood for forever.
True.
Oh, that is
Literally.
100%
We've talked
true.
about it. Yeah, we've talked about
Yeah.
it already.
Yep. We're in.
Oh, yeah. In fact, we've actually tried to recruit people anytime we see a house for sale. We're like, would you like to move
Yeah,
here?
send us the link.
Yes.
Zillow is coming your way.
All right, well, we're diving into the Fae and Alchemy series. We invited you guys on to talk about all things Fae and Alchemy. You guys are in the middle of your deep dive of Brimstone right now, and we just finished 7 weeks of our first-time reactions, so let's talk about everything that happened in Quicksilver, Brimstone, and, throw out some theories for book number 3.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, first and foremost, do you guys think that Finran is Styx, or did Fisher call him our father the way the Blood Court called Malcolm their father?
We have gone back and forth so much on this, but I think we finally landed on them being the same person just because it's so much cleaner if they are the same person. I think one of the biggest reasons I think they're the same person is because of the Orlena bonus chapter. I went back and read it after getting through Brimstone, and they call out Finran by name in there. And they mention Solus, the description of the sword. So this person there is holding Solus. And then he's wielding shadows. And shadows come from Diaxis. So I felt like the only way that could happen is these people are calling this person Finran, but he's wielding shadows. So they have to be the same person. And I don't think I got that strong of a feeling from Brimstone. Nothing that kind of pulled it together for me, like that one bonus chapter. So that did it. I'm just finally just gonna lay it to rest. And if I'm wrong, I'll happily be wrong. But I'm just tired of going insane about it. So I'm just saying they're the same person and moving on with my life.
So do you think that Kingfisher has siblings then? Is the people that he's talking to, or do you think they're literally his siblings, or is this just
that I got that Malcolm impression that you guys talked about. They talk to him about father, demons or whatever, brother, but I didn't get the impression of actual sibling.
Go tell dad?
Oh, I kind of did. I don't know. I think it's half brothers. I think it's a half brother situation. But I'll be honest, I'm still on the fence about if Finran and Styx are the same person. I'm leaning towards yes. I don't know. I don't like that.
Every day, every the week, you just change your mind. You're like, no, they're two. No, they're one.
I'm leaning though.
Because isn't it only that half gods can wield shadows? Which means that Finran can't be the full god if he's also wielding shadows? ?
Unless full gods can,
Also,
unless Styx also can. But
Right,
there's no
because the
clarification
gods
on
don't
that.
He would
live
be a
in the world.
sucky god of shadows if he can't wield them. I'm just saying.
That's fair.
True. Fair.
And we know a lot of people who are at the top of the industry who can't do the job of the people at the bottom. So
That is fair comment.
Also true.
they show up and try to help, and you're like, "What are you doing, man?"
Can you open that PDF one more time, please?
I am the god of shadows because it is my mood, but not
Yes.
because I can do anything
And
with
because
them.
they can do it. and I'm in
Right.
charge of Beau.
Metaphorically.
Yeah. Okay, so then that means that Finran is the son of Styx and the father, and now we've got a
No.
grandfather tearing
Yeah.
situation. Let's
No.
make it more
Stop it.
complicated.
Grandpappy Styx, king of
Pappy?
old Pappy should cry.
Yes.
I'm out.
I don't know if that actually came to fruition and we literally
will
had a
give
Pappy
you
Styx.
$100.
I would give you all everything. I would bow down to you for that one.
I'm just gonna write that down.
Yeah, that includes their house. You can
$100.
live and be their neighbor.
I'm in. I'll give you
We got that on recording, right? We got that?
I have this like romanticized version in my head that Styx fell madly in love with Adina and decided to leave all of the power and all of the godliness behind and live on like in their realm as a human. And so he took on the identity of Finran for a time. Well, Fae, I guess, yeah. So he took on the identity of Finran for a time to live in Avelia with her. And then that's why he took on the name. He had Kingfisher, but in reality, his real identity is Styx. I think that's also a lot easier explanation if we get into the book and there's this ginormous story about them being two different people and we have to explain this and then explain this and then explain this. I think it's going to get messy. And I think Occam's razor says that they're the same person.
Yeah. And with Adina,
And I feel this
it would
is
be
like
easier with
5
her,
books,
too.
maybe.
Yeah. Well, it's 5 books, but also this storyline is going to get wrapped up
Exactly.
in 3. It's going to get wrapped up in the next one. So I don't know.
What do
Like
you
if this
guys
was
think?
2 of 5, that would make sense. But it's like, that's going to be a long 3rd book otherwise.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be
Tell
a
me
long
about
third
it.
book either way.
True. But Lindsay, do you think it's kind of like a Hades, Persephone kind of retelling type of thing? God of an underworld, shadow realm type of thing, falling in love with somebody? I don't know. I like that vibe.
Yeah.
It's kind of cute.
Yeah, we've also talked on our pod about what we think Diaxis is. And Katharine really sees it as like a true hell. And I kind of see it as just another realm in general. I think Kingfisher calls it hell because it's hell for him, but I don't see it as like an undead Greek mythology kind of hell. So I don't know.
Like an underworld type of thing.
Right. Yeah. So
How many hells did they refer to again? There was
7
7.
Five,
hells.
7?
I thought it was
I'll think
5
about
hells
it.
and 7
No,
gods.
5 hells.
And
You're
4
right.
winds.
5 hells, 7
Okay.
gods.
Yeah.
because that sort of did give me the same like
Right.
And
a
there's
little
3
bit
of
of a
something
Dante's
in there.
Inferno vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And
Yeah.
if there are 5 hells, is this just one of them? Is this the main one? Is this 2
Right.
out of 5? Like, where does this fall? Exactly.
Because then we kind of struggle if he's literally just sitting in a realm. Because, I mean, if you think of that massive tree and he's just like, what, a tiny little leaf on a tree? That doesn't seem very godly. It seems kind of puny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys on the Finran and Styx are the same person train, or what are your theories?
Divided?
I was leaning toward no, but because I thought if he were God, like why would he have just been living as Fae and like letting Belicon treat him like garbage and send him to Zilvarn and do all the things that he did? But that I like the little romanticized theory about him giving up his life in Diaxis if it was amazing. I have no idea what being a king of dragons is like, but to be with Adina, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny because very romanticized from his perspective, but knowing what we know about Adina, it would just be like, yeah, I know you love me. Like, she already got
Tell
the
someone who
whole
knows.
thing.
Yeah.
You're coming with
As
me.
soon as he showed up, she's like, yep, here we go.
Here we are.
I've been waiting for you.
I'd be curious, like, since you guys like are reacting as you go, I would love to see watch your whole journey of we think he's the same. Nope, we don't. Yes, we do. No, we don't. Like, did it change as you went through your episodes?
I mean, you don't know
Well, I
that
mean,
until the
we didn't
end.
know.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't
Oh,
know
yeah,
that
that's true.
until the
Yeah,
very
yeah.
last episode.
Right.
So this is like our first, at least on podcast.
Oh, so you need
real
to do
big
this whole thing
conversation
again.
about it.
Yeah. So you're going through it
Yeah,
right
because we didn't
now.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally right
Okay.
now. Yeah. I think I've always leaned towards it not being the same person because of the whole half gods thing that I kind of brought up earlier. But with this whole like romanticized view on how they got together, I feel like that doesn't explain why they were not together at the end, because it's not like something happened to Adina. In fact, Finran leaving put her in a worse scenario with having to be with Belicon and then eventually have his daughter and all sorts of stuff. So I would hate to think that, I mean, maybe it's some huge, ginormous, drastic reason he had to leave. It just, I don't know.
Okay. Now, so I think, let me give you a further thought then. I think everything that Adina did was to get them to this ultimate point. So I think if she had to get them here, there's a possibility that she said, okay, honey, we have to sacrifice our happiness together to get the world to where it needs to be, with Kingfisher and Cerys getting together. And the only way to do that is for you to leave and you to take Carrion and Carrion to get back to this place, right? So I think that there's a potential reason for that. I also think that there's a possibility that Adina is in Diaxis with him right now.
Yeah.
So if you
that.
If you look back on the scenes with her speaking through Everlane and talking about open the gate, like leave it open, you can read that as if she is behind the rotted Quicksilver gate and she is potentially in Diaxis, which might mean that she is there with Finran/Styx.
And I think we also brought up at one point where, like, who better to end up with a god than the world's greatest seer who would be able to see the sacrifice necessary to be with a god.
A god, yeah.
Yeah.
But I want you guys to read that Orlena chapter again, because when Lindsey was bringing up the thought of Styx living as Fenrir, there's this part towards the end of that where Orlena doesn't see on page Madra stab Solus right into the Quicksilver pool, but what she does describe at least is like an explosion happening in the hall, and we don't really see what happens, right? We're just looking through her eyes and she doesn't see what happens there. When Lindsey had said, I see it as Styx living with Fenrir, I then kind of looked at that scene differently, and I almost saw it as like his almost mortal body as Fenrir being destroyed in that instance, because she talks about feeling this rush happening and almost like this beating within her. And I have this theory I've been going insane over on our Brimstone coverage with the word thrum.
God.
Thrum being used
Nobody say that
for
word
everything Styx. And it almost seemed like his physical mortal body was destroyed and he left to go back to Diaxis as Styx in that moment. So that's kind of like, because otherwise it's like, well, what's the explanation of what happened to him after that moment? We don't see it on page. Right. And it was when Lindsey said that as like him living as Fenrir, I was like, well, I kind of see that entire chapter just completely differently.
Interesting. So do you guys have any thoughts on if Kingfisher knew about this the whole entire time, or was it like when he was it 7 or whatever age he was that he was forced into that Quicksilver pool at Ajun Gate or whatever? Was that when he learned about Styx? Because he clearly knows something that he's been hiding this whole time.
I think there's some timeline fuckery afoot, which is the way that we talk about it.
Nice.
I don't know
term,
that
yes.
that's the scientific term.
Got it.
I don't know that I believe he's known about it the whole time, but I could see a world where Adina talks about there's a lot of different paths that you can choose, and we know that he goes to be and talk to Zareth and he sees Cerys and there's different timelines, and so that opens up this whole world of, well, if that's a different timeline, then what else has been messed up? And Carrion specifically spells out, right, that like, oh, this is the explanation for why I'm this old and whatever. And so because I have no fucking idea, it has to be, in my head, I do think
Another
it could
technical
be,
term.
right, it's possible that it could be some timeline fuckery. Like, I don't know when he found out about it. I think he knew at the end, at least because he had a clear plan, I think, in his head, and like was like, okay, I have to do this, this, and this. But I don't know if I believe that when we meet him at the beginning of Quicksilver that he knew that all of this was going on. I don't know. That's my theory.
I would like to also say that as a pretty avid science fiction reader my whole life, to introduce timeline fuckery in this way, I want in the next book, there better be a hella good explanation and some hella good theory behind this timeline fuckery, because you can't just say, oh, they mess with the hot timeline and then explain away every little thing. It's not really fair. So I'm looking for some quality answers.
I'm with you on that. As soon as people touch the timeline or time travel, I'm like, you better not screw this up.
Right.
As soon as you
do it
mention
right. It's really easy to hide behind and be like, oh, well, I said there's timeline stuff, and it's not something that I want you to hide behind. I want you to have
Built
some
it out.
parameters. Yeah. So
Yeah.
my expectations are high for the timeline fuckery, I think is my point.
We need a bow. We just can't say, oh, it's just time, and time just doesn't matter. And it's cool to go with that.
There are rules.
There are rules. But I've annoyed the crap out of those two. So I'm going to pull y'all into annoying the crap out of you
Go for it.
with the word thrum, because I have to bring it up again.
Here she.
Oh,
There
and
was a
I just
scene-
saw it. I was looking for
Were you
something
looking
and I
for
just
it?
read the word thrummed. Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's a scene where Kingfisher is talking with Elroy, and he's having this weird visceral reaction to Elroy, which when you just look at Kingfisher's reactions compared to what Elroy is telling him, his like physical reaction is as if somebody is like doing something to him. Like it just doesn't really make sense with Elroy's just having a conversation with him. And that was the very first time we were introduced to this thrum, thrum, thrum. And reading that scene made me feel like he was having this reaction because it was the first time Kingfisher realized Styx was involved in a lot of this stuff and coming to the conclusion that he would eventually need to go to Diaxis. So I thought that was at least a triggering moment for him, leading him towards going to Diaxis at the end of the book. I can't say if that's me telling you when he found out who his father is. No, but when he realized there was some kind of fuckery afoot with Styx in particular, that's when I think that happened. Because otherwise it's like, why are you reacting to Elroy? He's just talking to you.
I could see that because I talked a lot about the Joshin like cage that he was in and how like Fisher's magic reacted to it with the shadows and the dark power and all that. Like I kept being like, Finran made this little cage and he's totally around and we're going to find him because, you know, and went on this whole thing that obviously we did not meet Finran in this book. But yeah,
We didn't
I
even get
agree.
the
That
name
is
Finran in this book, which is
awesome.
the fuck. Yeah. Sorry.
My
Cursing okay. I'm
father.
sorry, guys. Okay.
Yes, you're wonderful.
John, what do you think? I haven't heard you in a while. What's in your mind going on up there?
When it comes to Finran, I think my final thought was that they were different people. And I think it was that because we learned about like the demigods having the shadow magic and knowing that Fisher had seen Finran like wield that Finran couldn't be Styx. I think that was kind of what I landed on.
Someone told me that the audio had been corrected, the audio bonus chapter, and that it had been switched back, that it says now that... Which way does it
With
go?
the
With
mother.
the shadows
illusion
and
and
the
Yes.
other father. We have not been able to confirm because we have it purchased, and once you've purchased it, it doesn't update. But someone commented on one of our Instagram posts, so we're kind of waiting to see if that is confirmed. or not.
Because
was
Con,
like
you
that.
were the one.
That could change things.
That was Lauren.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
you
went
guys
off
were the
about
ones
that
who
to
pointed it
anyone
out to us.
and everyone who would
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah.
And the website to this day still says what it says.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed. Like it
Yeah.
says, I got the shadows from my mother on the website and then the glamour from my father. And it's still that same way, even after
would think
reading
it'd
all through
be
Brimstone.
Easier to
other
change the
way.
website than it would be to change the
That's why we
audiobook.
feel like it has to be intentional because it's really easy to fix a website.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so if anybody listening to this episode has since newly purchased the audio for the bonus chapters,
Yeah.
please let us know if it has been changed.
Please.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
It's at 25 minutes into the
Oh,
Boots, the Dress, and the Fox chapter.
Wow.
I listened to it and I was like slowing
girl.
it down. And
This is the difference between a book club podcast and a deep dive podcast.
The
You know
insanity.
timestamps.
because I was doing it literally last night after these two left. Anyway.
so the part that I was looking at, I was trying to find the part, I'm sure you guys have gone over this, where she's looking at Lane and it looks like there's another like figure in her eyes or something. Does it say that it's like the figures was like in shadow or something? Or does it
Yeah, I
just say
think
that
you mentioned like an
something, maybe.
outline,
Dark
like a
figure?
black
Yeah,
outline
and
or
then it's, like,
something of a
yeah.
figure.
moving towards her.
We assumed, I think, it was Malcolm. I think we thought that she was basically being
I said too.
chased in
Yeah.
Diaxis by Malcolm.
Oh, you thought that too, Lauren?
I said it we jokingly said like he horcruxed himself into Everlane
Right?
with her being like the last person he had bitten that we know of.
Yeah, yeah.
And with him being like, you can never kill me type stuff.
Right.
It would end up being something like that.
Yeah.
We didn't know about Diaxis when we read that.
Right.
So
Right.
but
Oh, yeah.
it's interesting now because in chapter 30 at least, when Saris like puts her hand on Lane, it says, I felt what Taylena had felt, a dark hand hovering over my friend, pressing her down into the wet soils of hell, and she was not alone in that place. That definitely reads differently on the second time
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, I would go back and read both of those with Everlane when Adina speaks through her and when she speaks and we don't like if it's Lane or not Lane, because both of those chapters on a read very differently once you know about Diaxis and like what could be behind her and what like what's holding her back and the other gate and
Where
all
she
of
actually
that.
is. Yeah.
especially because the second one
Interesting.
isn't it like the Quicksilver that activates whatever's
with her
happening?
Earring.
You mean the earring?
Yeah.
Her earring. Yep.
I think.
That was the first one. That was
That's
when
the first one,
that was when Adina came through.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we talked
okay,
about
yeah.
if Adina had purposefully planted
Yes.
that earring on her. Again, all part of like Adina's master plan
Yes.
so that she could speak
Oh.
in that moment to Saris.
What do you find
Adina
in
says
con?
Everlane is in shadow.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes. And there's like reference to her being far away, like being somewhere else. And so we're like,
Yeah,
is
she
she
is-
actually somewhere else?
If Adina
She's
does have
beyond my
shadow
reach.
magic and she's the one that's
Yes.
the half god or whatever, giving them the shadow magic, because then Everlane would have it too.
That's a good point, though, especially
Yeah.
if because that one thing says they come from my mother, that one bonus chapter, then that would open the door for Everlane to have that.
Do we have any thoughts on like how she possibly could have gotten this way because she was conscious when she came through the gate? And this only happened
Everlane?
after she was worked on by Taylena and Ishabal.
Oh.
Yeah, because she tried to warn Saris about the
Saris.
lake.
Yeah, she did.
So she was technically conscious. So this didn't happen until she was tried to heal her.
Maybe the
I think-
witches are evil.
I
Well,
don't
it's
know.
also didn't happen until after Malcolm, quote unquote, died.
Died, I guess.
So
That's
it
yeah.
could have
true.
been some of that.
Oh.
I'll be honest,
what
John,
they
until
know
you
of.
said that, I don't think I put those things together.
Yeah.
So I feel like I got to go
I don't
back
think
and
I
read
did
both
either.
books.
Oh darn.
Quick reread.
Whole
of
thing
both
all
of them.
over again.
Yeah,
Blame John.
I have a lot of thoughts about Ishabel and obviously what her intentions are and what the witch's intentions are. And
good
so
point.
if it's, I don't want to say it would be Taylena, but I could see absolutely it having something to do with Ishabel, which again, if you layer on all the conversations with Ishabel and religion and how they don't believe in the same gods,
Yeah.
and now if she were putting Everlane into Diaxis or even potentially a different form of hell, that brings a whole different level of oh shit interesting to the story too.
We were looking for a betrayer, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
I love Ishabal.
Me too.
John loves her.
I like the
But
witches.
she's
I
sneaky.
don't want the witches to be bitches.
she's sneaky and she does lie.
She's sneaky.
She is sneaky. That's what I like about her.
I know.
Is
Anytime
it
a
because you
witch
guys have the same
enters-
hair too?
Yeah.
You're like, it's my red hair. I gotta like her with me.
Representation.
What if they're secretly kind of on Madra's side since we got the whole. Yeah.
Can I actually ask you guys a question there, since it's probably a little bit fresher in your minds? They talk about how feeders, human feeders, come through, Madra sending them through towards the end of the book. Who created feeders? Because in our world, vampires create feeders, and they kept thinking how feeders came through to their realm. And my question was more, who created feeders if all of the vampires except for Foley have been eradicated? That was my question.
So do you feel like maybe that's the answer to John's question? Like, are the witches involved in some way, or are they working with Madra?
They wouldn't be creating feeders, though. They hate.
That's my logistical question of how do you create a feeder?
Feeders?
Like, that's what they called them. They called them feeders coming through at, what was that? The White Cliffs of
Inishtar.
Inishtar. Yeah, they called them feeders, human feeders. So I'm like, how did Madra create a feeder? There's never been any vampires that we know of in Zilvar, and so functionally,
that
like I need to understand the biology. How did you create feeder?
It could have been they just used that term because they were familiar with that term before they found out what they really were.
That's true.
That would be my explanation at face value, at least.
I had the theory that when Madra came in the end of Quicksilver, that she captured some or took somebody back with her and has been holding on to them, like Walking Dead style, where they're just used for whatever purpose they potentially need to survive or to do her evil biddings, I guess. Like thinking feeders, creating other feeders or something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
and
it's
then just sending humans, but
I don't think it's that far-fetched to think that Madra has some sort of vampire either captured or there on her side. And is it Malcolm even potentially? I think we
or
have
just
to consider
other necromant magic.
There's a ton of magic in that city now. That we know that now, so we've got to realize that she's got a lot more access to magic than
it's the source, the random source that we still don't know anything about, that was introduced to us in Quicksilver and is just hanging out there in mystery form
even
ever
as a
since.
Source, or if we looked into that word way too much.
Okay, but guys, I'm sweating. I'm so stressed because John, now I have, okay, hear me out. We've always talked about how the frig is Madra alive so long. What if, we know that Algit was sent away for doing dark magic from her witch clan. What if Madra is connected to a witch clan?
We've said that too. We've said, We said like, and then
I'm
there's
sweating.
Like
you did?
A fae, a witch, and a vampire.
Okay, so just so you guys know, I can't listen to your episodes until we're done with our episodes because I don't want to be like, oh, wait, hold on. So now I'm going to have to go back and be like, wait, what is your witch theory? Because I'm stressed now. John?
I think that really was the extent of it. It was, I think we were just saying, Malcolm's a vampire, Bellicon with the Fae, and then it would make sense that Madra is the other big,
It's one, two,
you know, I guess species or race or whatever.
So you guys have finished Brimstone, right?
We finished reading
read
it, but we haven't finished recording our episode. So we tend to avoid other podcast coverage of it until we're done recording ours, just to be like, you know. So
we will be wrong to the very end.
Especially, right? Like,
because we don't want to
like, don't tell me anything. In our girls' night, you were like, don't tell me anything. Now come there.
So like the big thing that we were talking about with realizing Zilvarin, like the town of Zilvarin itself, is basically a giant witch's sigil.
Witch's sigil.
Which it's like, that was like a huge
the one that you saw
being
on
connected to witches.
Cal's chest.
Yes.
And like the streets could be stuff.
I never made that connection. I called it a rune. I didn't go the step further to call it a witch's sigil. And now I'm freaking out.
Well, we don't necessarily know that it's a witch's, though. It could still be a rune. So
they also
introduced, it could go either way.
They also introduced blood magic as a concept in this book, and we know that at the center of Zilvarin, that's where they put like dead bodies. That's where they do execution. So there's like a ton of blood also there and seeped in. So she could be doing this whole dark magic. Whatever with all that.
Oh my God.
Well, speaking of dark magic,
what do you guys and stuff for
for
the plague bags?
What do you guys make out of the what's its faces? Hazrax. Like,
Oh, yeah.
what do you make?
Oh, what's his face?
What?
You
what
mean the
is
Greendale
it?
human being? I did see that one.
Yes.
That was me.
That's my
Can I get a
favorite.
drawing also? I really need this thing visually brought to
So
life.
just
If you
Google the
Yes.
Greendale human
Yeah.
being because I cannot get that out of my mind since you guys said that. So thank you.
I like my first and consistent imagery is just like your classic tall gray alien, sort of
Yeah.
like just
Yeah.
big-headed, bulbous
But
eyed.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of love the Hazrax though.
I
Oh,
love
we
so
it.
do
do. We love it
I
a
love
lot.
him.
We love it so much.
Team has.
Oh, has he?
100%. Has he? Has.
Hazzy,
Yeah.
Gonna get Hazrax tattoos.
No, I'm not getting it.
No,
'Cause we're skipping
no,
around.
Kelly, you're on your own.
You want
I
to skip
have
to that
always been
question?
on my own with tattoos. Go ahead, John. Sorry.
This
No,
one?
that was actually one of our questions. It was actually from
Yeah.
Megan on Discord. So, what are your theories about the Hazrax? Do you think it is a god, maybe one of the demon gods? So we can talk about him a little bit.
Sure.
It.
It.
Which
not a him,
we had
is
to
it?
correct
Right?
ourselves so many times
So many
when we were
times.
recording because we
Yeah.
would say he and then have to go back and re-record and say it. It was just
Yeah.
natural. I don't know. That's my answer.
Valid.
Great.
That's
Same.
fair.
Right.
That was
Um,
quite
I was
literally
like, uh-huh.
Let's move on.
the theme of it. I got
Next
no fucking
question.
clue.
No, I do like the Hazrax a lot. I have a lot of theories that, again, I think that Adina is the master planner in all of this. I think that Adina and the Hazrax are in cahoots together.
Besties.
Besties.
I don't know if I think that the Hazrax is a god. We
Go back and forth on it.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this
can't
in
decide.
our episodes too. I think it is. I think
Oh,
Period.
brilliant.
I think that it is.
Yeah.
It is an unnamed, older than dirt
Yep.
is.
Like
honestly.
an eldritch god.
I think it just.
Nothing else is what it is.
Yeah.
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 that
But
is-
it
That's
is.
where I'm at. That's
I
what
know
it
that
is.
sounds silly because that doesn't answer the question, but I think that that is my answer. Is that it is that old and that powerful? Is it just is.
So you think it's from this realm, though? Like it's not from
I
some
don't know.
other weird.
I think
green
I think it
alien
exists
realm?
somewhere on the tree. It exists somewhere on the tree. As far as I
Don't know which leaf.
don't know which
Maybe
leaf.
it's a branch.
If it is from this realm, it is the oldest of the old originator of the realm, potentially. I also have questions, and I think this is really connected. Like, okay, why are Zilvarin and Ivelia so connected? Like, obviously they're in different realms. So when they travel back and forth, why are those two realms, what pulls them together? Why are they so connected? And so if you talk about the Hazrax and the question of, is it from this realm? Is there a potential that there are certain realms that are more connected to each other, maybe? And so maybe the Hazrax comes from one of those. I don't know. I think it's just an original thing.
I kind of had a thought on that, and I think I mentioned it in our very last episode, but I said, wouldn't it be crazy if they weren't, though? Like, Zilvarin was just so far away from Ivelia on the same realm, and everybody else is like, well, there's just a huge desert over there, but nothing's there.
Right.
So they think, yeah, the Quicksilver
think it
pools
is,
take you to a different realm, but it's really just on the other side
It's
of the
just
planet.
real far.
Yeah, where nobody's bothered, like, sailing or anything like that.
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Maybe.
Like, why else would these two be
Yeah.
connected? And they make
And they
comments
have
of, like,
opposite weather, like opposite
Right.
sides
Sure
of the
do.
world.
Yes.
Yeah, and it could just be
Yeah.
like, yeah, magic isn't there. Sure, why not? It's a different continent.
Yeah. We also, like, we
They
made
have
the
two
joke, we're like,
suns, though.
you're telling me in all this time that Carrion never bothered to venture out into that desert little...
Oh, I know. It's
Especially
like through
knowing
1,000
about-
years.
Especially knowing about the girl he loved and how they needed medicine from the east, and so people
Yeah.
would go, and then they just couldn't find any, and he just accepted she died.
Yeah.
I was like, why isn't he going and figuring this out if like however many
Yeah.
hundred years later that still
Dang,
bothers him
that's just
so much?
so far, though, man.
Where is the east? I love her, but
Where is
not
the
that much.
east? But for real, where is the east? Are we just going
Yeah.
far in the desert and
That
finding
way.
a plant? And then that's why I thought
Yes,
maybe
that
that's
way.
why he liked the plant so much in Quicksilver, because it was like the first one he'd seen since her medicine or something. Obviously, we know now in Brimstone, like with him having more connection to plants, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Going back to Hazrax, we did have one page that haunted us for like an entire 30-minute conversation. And it was when she says, your name is not Hazrax. And then he mentioned the rune, the break rune. That's functionally what it does. But if she knew the actual name for the rune, that would be Hazrax's actual name. And then it says, you're so close to figuring it out. And I think we all wanted to basically punch Hazrax in the face at that point and say, could you just spell it out just a little bit more, please?
Yeah, like who is it? There's no reason it would have said that if it not to tease us.
If it didn't
that
matter.
We know who it is.
Yeah.
Or what yeah.
Ooh, who are
Or
you?
Sarah
love it.
does,
Right.
at least.
So then
Like somebody
what
from
is-
her past or
anyone
something.
have thoughts? Who would it be?
It's Saris's father.
That has run through my brain.
I mean,
I
that's the only
Missing person,
missing
really.
person. There is also, did you guys catch the line? There's a really odd line about Saris's father in here. Who she was
Foley.
it from Foley?
She was with
Yeah.
Foley.
About the sand,
And
building
Foley's
houses on
like,
sand.
Yeah.
like building a house on sand and it falling down in your ears. And she's like, why would you make that reference? That upsets me
How could
about
he
my
know?
father. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what
We're like,
the hell are you
Are you
talking
drunk?
about?
Sarah's dead. Like,
at a left
What do you
field, and then we
mean?
just move on.
Yeah, like that's one that I
Wait.
can't wait to get an answer for and go
Yeah.
back and understand what the hell that means.
wait, so Khan, like, how many toes down are you that Hazrax is the father? Like, are you like joking?
Oh, I'm not.
Oh,
No,
okay,
I
okay,
just
okay.
was throwing it
How
out.
deep? I was like, how deep we go in there? Okay, all right.
Maybe a pinky.
a pinky toe. All right.
But not fathers because he lost a toe.
Ah, good one. Good.
The dance,
like
though. The dance is what really made that.
Finger
That was
guns.
great.
You're
Oh
welcome.
my gosh, I forgot about that.
That's good.
Do you guys have any different theories about the Hazrax that we haven't already talked about? Like, what else could it be? Or do you have anything else that you're like, this has to be it? Please
think
help
the-
me.
The only other thing I think we discussed was the gills that it had. We were like, oh, it could be related to like the
yeah.
water fae or something like that because he had the gills that he has.
Okay.
And for all
That
we
he
know,
has, Rax.
way deep down in the ocean, then they all look like that or something.
Because in one of the bonus chapters, we were introduced to a different water fae, and we were like, oh, it described them, and it was sort of similar to the Hazrax's description.
And I've been obsessed with the map because there are mermaids and sea dragons on the map.
Yes.
And the
then-
place,
Are we
the
getting
Terragras
mermaids?
Island that we've never
Please.
been to.
Yep.
And
Well-
Nevercross. I want to go to Nevercross.
And Lindsay, didn't you mention there's a capital on one of the cities there? Didn't you say there was like only 2 capitals on the map?
Jacinda.
I remember, and
X's.
wasn't one of them one of the watery islands
It was
or something?
Graves Point and Nevercross are the only 2 map markers.
That's it. Yeah.
On the
Yeah.
map.
And they're the only 2 places we have not been.
Yeah. And Lauren, what was your question?
No, Khan was obsessed with the dressmaker from
Jacinda.
Amontreus. What was her name?
Oh, Jacinda.
Oh, yeah.
And she had
No,
her
it's-
gills sewn because we learned
Yeah,
about that in the
sewn
bonus
up.
chapter too, and we
Right.
went back. So she's also water
Yanika.
fae.
That's what it was.
Yanika. Thank you.
Yanika.
Yeah.
Who's Jacinda? What did I say?
Some
I
Kyle
don't know.
said.
Sounded believable, though.
I was.
You
I
It
was
sounds like something, though, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Jacinda.
Different book I've read, probably. Jacinda.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, so she also was water fae or whatever. So
Do you
What
know
are you
now?
laughing about?
yes, I know who Jacinda is.
who is she?
She's one of our Patreon members who I was just talking to on Instagram.
Oh, Jacinda. Nice.
Well, we're
nice
obsessed
to
with
meet
you, so-
I'm obsessed
Yeah.
with
You don't have gills. We
Did
don't
you know
think
you were a
don't.
mermaid with gills? You're
Oh,
magical.
Do you know if the
in my mind.
Hazrax is from the ocean?
DM us, Jacinda.
That's funny.
Do you guys know why the Hazrax is obsessed with observing Amontreus? Like why he has to observe Malcolm there, why he parked himself there for millennia?
Indina
It's
is
bothering
the only
us
thing I can
too.
think
Don't have
of.
an answer.
I honestly didn't think about it because I thought it was just relatable.
Relatable.
Yeah. I too would just want to sit in a castle and watch stuff. Like, yeah, sure, whatever.
And be
Like,
silent. And
so
not
when he
talk
said
to
that, I was
anybody.
like, yeah,
no
this is the most relatable
other than
character I've
watch.
met.
Yeah, man.
Kyle,
You're-
everything I've
you're
ever heard about you makes me think that you and my husband would be best friends.
But they wouldn't because neither would talk to each other.
Right,
They
right.
just sit
That's
there,
why
and
they
you
would
and
be
I
best
would talk.
friends. They would
And
be
Sounds
then
like a
best
great
friends.
time.
and then we'd be like, oh, he plays Dungeons and Dragons. You'd be like, oh, you? Yeah, you. And then they disappear and we'd never hear from them
Yes.
again.
Never see him
Yeah.
again.
What is that? Ron from Parks and Rec? He's my best friend. I haven't spoken to him in 40 years.
Yes. That,
Yeah.
See that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That.
Amazing.
What a man. There was one specific question from our Q&A that I wanted to save for this conversation with you guys because I saw one of your videos about it and I haven't really looked into it further than this. So
Okay.
from Lady L Monster on our Discord, in chapter 17, Fisher uses a rune for quote unquote break. Is this supposed to be different from the one Saris uses later? What do
Okay.
you have? Tell us.
Lindsay, go for it.
Okay, I have a lot of
Lindsay
thoughts
has
on
a
this.
You're all so pumped up.
Bring it.
Okay. And I don't have answers, but I have thoughts. Okay. Where do I start? There are so many different words that the author could have used for Kingfisher to use other than the word break. And she chose to use the exact same word, right? The Hazrax had not gifted Saris with that specific rune yet Kingfisher drew the rune and used the word break, not shatter, not, I don't know, give me
Destroy.
some
Explode.
explode, split. None of those synonyms for break. That has to mean something, okay? But do I know what it means? Absolutely not. Do I think, again, we talk a lot about like timeline fuckery. Like, is there potential for some timeline fuckery? Maybe. Kelly.
So the Hazrax is Kingfisher.
Whoa.
You
Hot
heard it here,
take.
folks.
Hot take. He just wants to sit back and watch, you know?
Listen, if that's true,
He's already seen it once. He's gonna sit through it again.
Yeah,
Con,
I
if that's
just-
true, you owe me $100 because I don't like it.
I just think that
Deal.
it's too similar. Like, I don't know, the fact that it's the very same word, that's gotta mean something. It's gotta mean something.
Was
Do I
there-
know what it means? No.
Well, there already
When
is
Kingfisher
some.
saw that rune for the first time on Saris, do you know what the reaction was like? I don't remember now.
No, I think he
That's a
was
good
more
question.
reacting to the fire and the glowing. That
Makes
like the
sense.
fact that
Yeah,
it
that's
was
fair.
like
Yeah.
everything that was happening in the moment. So I never got the sense of, is he reacting to the
Specific
fact
to
that
the
Tal
rune.
is literally on fire right now, or is he
Fire.
reacting to
Fire.
her hand right now? It's really hard to tell.
Yeah.
There already is some timeline tomfoolery.
Foolery.
Because when they're off with the gods and the trees and Bal and Mythin,
Yeah.
they see each other at different
Exactly.
points in their
Yeah,
lives.
right.
So maybe he did see that rune
Yeah.
at some other point where he's visiting the gods somehow.
It
And
also,
Well, yeah, I mean,
if that is
on the
true-
hill in the bonus chapter, it was
Yeah.
400 years apart, and that was clearly a timeline
Yeah.
issue.
If that's true, though, it also takes away from the specialness of the break rune,
Yeah.
because if
Yes.
Kingfisher can use it, then does that mean Saris can use it again? Like the Hazrax kind of sets it up that you've got one and done, right?
yeah.
And
Right.
Yeah.
so, but if Kingfisher can use it again later, what does that mean for Saris's use of it in the future?
There could be
Yeah.
like a power behind it type of
Yeah.
thing. Like the Hazrax's power was behind the one that he
Yeah.
gave her. or
That
something,
actually
compared
was-
to
Yeah.
something that
Yeah.
Kingfisher did or could do.
Yeah.
And that was kind of what we were thinking by having the Hazrax give her the rune, but not telling her its name. Because, like, if we're thinking of it similar to how if you know a Fae's name, you can control it. So it was almost giving her a piece of its own power through the rune, but not telling her its name. So she couldn't control all of the Hazrax power, only the power that could be channeled through that one rune. Because it was making a point of giving the rune to her in the same like page where it says, "This is not my name." and it is my name, but speaking it is blasphemy. So we thought there had to be some connection to the rune and Hazrax's power, and it very intentionally not saying what its name is, because that could have allowed her to control it
More of it
herself.
Yeah,
and more of it.
Kelly also pointed out when we were recording, and I did not catch it even on my reread, that if you line up the timelines of what's going on with Kingfisher and what's going on with Saris at the time, the moment that Saris blows up the library is the exact same moment that Kingfisher blows up that room. So I don't know, there's something about them having that same rune at that moment and them blowing the buildings up at the same time that I think there might be some wibbly wobbly timey-wimey stuff going on there too.
Yeah.
The Jeremy Baramy of it all. Yeah.
Because
I
we know they
something
share
to
the
that
same
too.
runes too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because there's the other time when he's in Zilvarn with the shadows, and I think that's when one of hers starts like freaking out or something.
Yes.
So no, go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, when we did our deep dive, the way that we had to cover that set of chapters just for confusion's sake is, instead of going back and forth between the chapters, we talked about all of Saris's chapters and then all of Kingfisher's chapters. And so when we lined them up like that, there was so many similarities that we're like, oh, wait a second. So it made us like look at them in that way. That was really interesting.
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask what you guys thought of her one time only use and how she used it.
We actually have a major theory coming out on why she used that and the consequences of it. Lindsay, I will let you decide if we are going to mention that here, because we haven't actually mentioned the theory, I don't think, on our main coverage, but
It's fine.
Spoiler? Spoiler?
We're going to talk about it. I do have a lot of thoughts here. I have a lot of thoughts in general. I think that my theory is that similar to how Kingfisher has given Lorith a piece of his life, I think that this is Saris giving Onyx a piece of her life. And so if anything is going to happen to Saris, I think Onyx is going to become her anchor to the world by having saved him in that way.
Oh, like a piece of her soul.
Yeah.
That's my theory, my working theory with why that was important.
And Hazrax even points out, why did you use it on that? Almost as if it was shocked that she used a rune for break to almost heal, to almost do the exact opposite, undo of what she used something that could have been a negative, but she used it towards a positive. And I almost wonder if this was some kind of like mystical test she passed as well in this process that'll be like a boon for her in the future, to where, like, going on our whole Horcrux thing, my body is destroyed, but I can somehow return because a piece of my soul lives on in Onyx.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also know, because Katharine reads a whole lot more in depth sometimes than I do, that familiars exist in this world, because they mention,
call out the word,
like in the market, that like familiars are for sale. And so part of me wonders if, even though they've never referred to Onyx as a familiar, if that is what's happening, and there is a bigger reason that we'll find out in a later book, that you needed to save the fox because it whatever is going to happen, and that there is some kind of familiar situation going on.
Yes. I have a small theory about this.
Oh,
I love Minnie in this situation.
I know. She's just a baby.
Hi, girl.
She's
just a baby.
Doing? What are you doing? Okay.
Is she made of shadows?
Is she Guru the Shadow Cat? I can't wait to see Guru come back.
Cute.
Love Guru.
Love Guru. I forgot about Guru.
How
we
could
know?
you forget about
we love
That
Guru.
just like never came back.
No.
I was
Right? Like,
convinced
flew out?
Guru was Foley, and so when that didn't happen, I gave up. I was so excited. I was like, it's him the whole time, and then it wasn't, and then I was sad.
Lindsay has a theory that we think that potentially Adina could have sent Onyx for Saris.
That's what Khan
And then
was gonna
possibly
kinda get to,
Guru the Shadow Cat, was sent to Kingfisher, the Shadow Wielder, Shadow Daddy. So
Interesting.
possible. Don't know.
Okay. Okay, so the other thing that made me think that Onyx might be a familiar that was maybe sent by Adina was partially like the little foxes that were on the dresses that Adina had made for Ceres, but also when we first meet Onyx, the first thing that he does is bite Ceres. And that's the same thing that happened with the Stargazers. Yeah, it's the first thing that happened with the Stargazers. Like they were testing her blood to confirm her identity or something, or that was part of.
You know what? I love it. I'm going to say that's accurate.
I love that.
Kelly, I don't know if you were watching Kelly, but Kelly went like this. Stargazers.
I heard it.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm here for that. That blew my brain when I heard it the first time.
I love that, actually.
Love that.
I love that.
I'm sticking with it for now.
And,
like
okay,
it. I like
here's the
it.
other thing.
And blood matters. Blood matters,
Yeah.
hon. They said, like, blood is everything.
about the
So then
blood.
it's all about blood.
We also wavered in with the story that Archer tells about how Adina used to go to the forge and talk to someone that Archer couldn't see. Our two guesses is that could have been Onyx because Ceres found Onyx in the forge, or that it could have been the Hazrax because in the very next scene, the Hazrax goes to the forge and says that it has seen through the eyes of the Oracle. So we feel like that's the two options there.
Or to sit with
be
Ceres.
interesting.
That could also be it. But that would be the lame answer.
Oh, man, I love that Onyx biting theory. I love it.
Do we know for a fact that the rune is off of her skin, the break rune, or is it just not that she can use it?
I thought it
Because
faded.
I didn't know if
I don't know.
if she learns the Hazrax's real name, would she be able to use that power again?
I don't know that
type of
it
a thing.
says that
I don't
it's
know.
there or not.
I thought it
Like
said
if
that
it like melts
disappeared.
back into your
Did it say
skin.
That it did? Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Someone's
had
got.
that
I
thought
don't
while
have
we were
for
all
whatever
talking.
reason. I don't have the e-book up for this one. Usually, I'm the one who's like listening and on the Kindle and on my book. All right. Well, if John said it disappeared, then I say it disappeared.
Then it's gone.
Gone.
Moving on.
John said it.
we
It's true.
we just wanted to know what your sort of immediate reactions to learning Kingfisher's real name was, and what do you think of it now that you've sat with it for a while?
As names go, I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Don't hate it.
Yeah.
It's a good name.
But that doesn't mean
I don't think
modern
it could have been
name.
anything. Like, it wasn't going to, no offense, it wasn't
Yeah.
going to be like John or anything. So it was, you know.
we have a theory.
Bill.
If
Bill.
we have a theory, if someone has a real name, that means they're gonna die. So.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like if
An
they have just like
easy
a
name.
basic name
Yeah.
that
Oh,
like
okay.
everybody would have, like if there was a
Yeah.
Lindsey in the book, if there's a Lauren in the book, if there was a Kelly in the book,
Yeah.
like those people would die. No offense.
Yeah. If I were in this book, I would have died. So
Same.
none taken.
Yeah,
I'm liking it.
I don't mind Kaiden. I think that if Kaiden had been our MMC's name the entire time, we would have all loved it. I think we would have thought it was sexy. I think that Kingfisher is a name that we love the character so much that anything is going to be tough to replace it in our minds. But I don't mind Kaiden. I think Kaiden is cool. I like the like meaning behind it. So I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I think in my mind it was weird that Ceres switched so quickly, but I also understand why the author did that, because she had to, because if she didn't do it, then we wouldn't, you know?
Yeah.
So
I don't think
I
anybody
under-
is. I don't feel like I see that name anywhere.
No.
No.
We're using
Everyone
it.
just still
Yeah.
calls him Kingfisher.
Yeah.
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 So I get why she used it just made sense to me because it had to for the context of making people grasp it. But
Yeah.
I think
So you said-
anything we would have been like, meh.
You said you like the meaning of it. Do you like the meaning of Finvara specifically in that name? Because
Say more. Like Finrin? What'd you get next,
No.
Kyle?
No.
Finvara is a
Finvara,
like
yeah.
legitimate.
Is
Irish folklore.
Yeah, it means king of the fairies from Ireland.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a benevolent. I think Fae deity, usually associated with horses, but
Bill?
Bill, the
right?
pony?
yes,
Bill.
like
Bill the
Bill,
pony.
yeah,
King of the
I did not
ponies.
know that. Okay.
yeah. The other ones don't. I don't think have like any deep directly tied to this story meaning, but that one specifically has like, oh, I know, I have like a book on Irish mythology and stuff. I was like, oh, I know that name.
Yeah, the Gray Star one, we did notice that there's a lot of like celestial language around the two of them when their relationship is described. Yeah. So the Gray Star did make sense. Yeah.
It could even be the stargazers that are kingfisher birds or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So that does make sense.
Tell them your Dianthus one.
Yes, along with that name meaning, Carrion Dianthus. Dianthus is the scientific name for flower. I think it's chrysanthemum, I'm pretty sure.
Oh my!
It was one of the sea flowers.
Carnation, I think.
Carnation. And it means divine flower.
I was gonna say carnation. That I know because that was my nonna's favorite flower, but I didn't realize that Dianthus was the word.
Yeah, the scientific.
And he has all this plant stuff going on.
Yeah, he's got some plant stuff going on.
So let's talk about that. What do we make of the fact that Kingfisher randomly says, I think Carrion might have the power of fire, and then we don't talk about that anymore, and then all of a sudden the plant thing comes back into play?
Yeah.
Do we think he's just a Dianthus guy, so they're really powerful, so he's got a lot of powers?
I was like, is it just because he's ginger?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm a ginger, I have fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I do think it would be hilarious if there was one moment where Carrion said something about the invisibility, and he was like, if I had the power to be invisible, I would totally want to do that or something. And I was like, I bet you already do.
You're
just
that would be
invisible.
hilarious.
and cheeky, hiding everything about himself and all this information he knows.
I do think I have like a minor theory that because Carrion is being so reticent to take the throne and Kingfisher's new name means King of the Fairies, that it might be offered to Kingfisher at one point.
Yeah.
Why else is his name the Fisher King?
Yeah.
Like, why do they refer to him as the Fisher King?
Yeah.
I have,
I don't know.
My romanticizing theories, I have this like end game of like Cerys is going to be able to like somehow undo, like clear the rot, and that Carrion is going to be able to heal the land and bring the plants in, and she's going to be the queen of Sanisroth, and he's going to be the king of Avelia, and the kingdoms are finally going to live in harmony with Foley in the middle, because he was supposed to be this royal in Avelia, and now he's by Cerys' side, so Foley's going to like play the middle part, and they're all going to live happily ever after the end.
So let me ask then with your theory, because I was going to ask with Adina earlier, how far do you think Adina's book goes in guiding Cerys? And is it going to come to a point where it ends and Cerys is like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do next? Or do you think it would first come to Adina telling her to do something and her being like, I don't want to do that, and trying to go against what fate has written for her?
It is very
the last
Cerys
page
coded.
of book 3 is going to be the last page of Adina's
Yes.
journal.
I mean,
Sure
Cerys keeps
is.
forgetting to read it anyway. So
Right. Oh shit! I should make a deal at the cliffs or whatever.
I would be so annoyed if Callie Hart actually took your advice and did that and just stops us at the end of book 3, and it's like, turn the page for what happens next, and it literally says the end. You know what, Callie? Actually do that. Go ahead and piss off everybody. Just do that.
it'll be her writing as Adina saying,
Yes.
pre-order the next book for this at this website. That's the next step.
Speaking
Come
through
back
everything.
for more
This is your
stories.
life.
Buy the book. Buy the book. No, with that though, I don't remember where it says this, but I'm under the impression there are also stargazers in the Galarian Mountains and somewhere else too. Right? There was two.
Yeah, because it said that's
places.
where they were native to.
Yeah, so that makes me wonder if there are other Adina books out there that are just waiting for maybe even the right person. Maybe it's not Cerys, but the right person. Like, it could be a Carrion book in the Galarian Mountains, since he had that other one of like the history.
Well,
of the
maybe he
Galarian
did
Mountains.
burn her book. Maybe he had her
something.
book and he burned it.
Yeah, maybe.
I like that idea. I am hoping she doesn't give everything, and I hope that the last thing is, here are your 2 options, and then Saris gets to choose. Like, I hope that there is some semblance of choice. I do also like what you said, Kyle, of like, she's going to be like, that's what she says to do, but I'm going to do the opposite. Like, I like that, but I like having a choice at the end. What you got?
What you
then
do
you're gonna-
with?
Yeah.
Then you're
she's-
going to
she had
turn the
a thought.
page and Adina will be like, if you did what I told you to do, then this was the wrong timeline. And if you did the other thing, then you did it right. Just like when she handed Kingfisher the book, because we kind of already saw that play out a little bit. But
Okay, hold on.
Did Adina write this?
Oh,
Did Adina write this?
It's
It's in the front of the book that Finran brought through the Quicksilver with Carrion to leave with him.
So
yes.
The
for
Fae
our
creatures
audio
of the Galarian
listeners,
Mountains.
she's holding up the very first page of Quicksilver.
The very first page
Commit
of Quicksilver, it says, "Never forget, monsters thrive best in the dark. Commit all you read here to memory. Prepare for war."
It's not
2
very-
exclamation points.
It doesn't sound
He does
like
talk
Adina.
about how the Swift women were like very dramatic, but I don't think they confirmed who wrote this in the book.
that's true.
Yeah, it doesn't
And
sound like her voice.
Yeah. But
But
I don't,
maybe
it
it
could
was
have been in
Finran's
desperation, like
stick
Prepare for
Right.
war means a lot more, knowing that he's
Yeah.
potentially taking the
Maybe
Or
it
it
was
could have been his
Azrax.
mother. His mother could have written it, right?
Who, Carrion's
Yeah.
mother?
Or his
Yeah,
father.
because I had this theory that his mother, because they talked about how the vampire cure was like Rurik, but also with the help of the Belkader
clan.
witches, right? And so I wondered if Carrion's mother ultimately was one of those witches, because they talked about like how the Dianthus family as a whole had dark brown hair. And I'm like, okay, well, the heir has red hair. And
Yeah.
who's like a witch that has red hair? Belkader clan witch. And so maybe that had something to do with the whole original vampire cure. And then it would have made sense because they said this is a book of your people. Kingfisher tells him that. And I was like, you wouldn't make that statement if it was just your father's line. You know, if you were looking at Carrion's mother, if her family comes from Galeria, that's why you have a book about the Galarian Mountains. That's your mother's book. That's your people. And that would also explain your red hair. And then I think maybe it was in our last episode we were talking about with his firepower. Maybe he got the firepower from his father, Rurik, and maybe the plant stuff, thinking of like witches and nature and all of that stuff. Maybe he got that from his mother.
It's interesting.
Yeah, okay, I like that.
I
I get on
don't
board with
know.
Amelia being a witch.
Right.
Kind of going
Yeah.
off of that thought too about the book. I wonder, stay with me here for a second, guys. The trade at the end, okay? Think back on the conversation that Saris has with Lorith where she thinks that Kingfisher could not have done the plan without me, but I could have done the plan without Kingfisher. I wonder if whatever is going to happen with the trade, the reason that Adina left that page of read on after the trade is because Saris is actually the one that is important to that trade and not Kingfisher. I think she
I feel like
holds
that
the
makes
keys
sense.
because she's the one that has the Brimstone rune, right? She's the one that has the power. So I think that she is crucial to the trade, not him.
My thought there for the trade was assuming because of that Saris was going to be the one to have to trade something to seal the Brimstone room. Like that makes complete sense. And I mean, obviously that's why they went there in the first place. So why would it be, why would it be Kingfisher to trade anything? Like that does, I don't know.
The Brimstone. Yeah, it's true.
And
But we'll
what
learn
else
about
would
the
be part of that
Brimstone,
plan?
not in the book Brimstone. We'll learn it in the next one.
yeah.
We'll get the clue. Like Brimstone's important.
Wait, Con, that's hilarious.
That actually is
Sorry,
really,
Lauren.
really
That's
funny. So what do we think
right.
the third book is going to be called then? Salt?
Yeah,
I
think
hope
that's
it's
what
Tree
Kyle
Prima,
said.
but it might be salt.
Oh, or Diaxis, maybe.
Salty.
Or
Salty.
sodium chloride.
Sodium NaCl, table salt.
Oh, that's amazing. I can't wait for that to actually be it, and then us all text each other.
Like, all right.
And then they have to go into the ocean, and it's salty in the ocean.
we've
And
said
so
Where the gills are.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I'm here for that. I am
Where
here
the
for that.
gills
The
are.
mermaid.
All my gills.
Then we get the
Where my
mermaids
gills
and the sea
at?
dragons.
I mean, where
Yep.
my girls at?
from the front to back.
As podcasters,
different song,
that,
sorry.
as podcasters that really read into every single word in books, I feel like we've just put a lot together of salt and oceans and mermaids and book titles.
And it's going to be none of those
gills
things.
and
Well, then read
It's
that.
giving very
there's,
Avatar
we
vibes.
smushed them.
You didn't.
Yes.
So John and
I
Con,
know,
you
I
stepped
have
away.
to read.
And we learned that they haven't read the Waterstones bonus chapter yet. So they
Yes.
don't know about Kingfisher's interaction
With the
Dark.
other creatures.
Yes. Okay, well, at the end of each of our episodes, we do a check-in on our cry counter to document how many times we've cried while reading the book that week. So this is your check-in. Did you cry while reading, or maybe even just deep diving, Brimstone?
Yes.
What is your current cry counter tally for Brimstone, if you remember?
1.
I don't think I cried.
Oh, I cried. I cried twice.
cried.
I cried
very
4
different
times,
reactions.
and so I still win.
4? Okay. Yeah, I cried at least 2. I cried with Onyx. Hardcore cried with Onyx.
Same.
And then I cried.
You cried another time. I'm trying to remember when it was, but
with
you were
you,
there
Arian.
with me.
Carrion. Because when at the end, when they kneeled for him, I just felt so
Yes.
overwhelmed. It was like a good cry. It was like how I cry when like whatever team wins like the championship, even if I'm not, well, unless they're playing my team and I'm upset, then I'll cry for them. But like I just get overwhelmed with like they're so happy. And that was the feeling that I felt when Carrion was kneeled at, you know?
I also
So
cried when
sweet.
Kingfisher was like comforting him at Orlena's,
Oh,
or not
yeah.
Orlena's, but at whichever.
Gracia.
Gracia, thank you. At her grave. And Kingfisher was like, actually gave him a hug, and they had like that whole moment. That
almost
was my
Romance,
first cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I cried. I think I just devoured this book so quickly that I don't think I had time for emotions, to be honest with you.
Check them at the
Ain't
door.
nobody got time for that. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I don't know what it is to
honestly-
live that way, but
Yeah.
that's great for you.
Yeah,
It's great.
yeah.
Behind the
Great.
door.
10 out of 10.
For you.
Would recommend.
But again, that's the difference, like between us doing the deep dives and you guys like doing your reaction episodes is
Yeah.
like we have to bang these episodes out
True.
to
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Wow.
Chapter
Chapter
20.
And so, and I outline all of our episodes, and so I was stressed getting this book and knowing that I had to outline them and that we had a date that we had to start recording and we had to get episodes out. And so I think my first read was like bam, and then on my second read I could really like digest it. But by that time there was not room for crying because I knew what was going to happen. So I'm pretty sure I was 0.
How many times do you guys read it before you start recording?
3.
At least twice.
At
2
least
to 3.
twice.
Yeah. So because I have an initial read usually, unless it's something that we've already read. I think with Quicksilver, by the time we recorded, I was on like 5.
Like 3 or 4
5,
times at
yeah.
that point.
And then when I'm outlining, which is usually honestly 2 or 3 times, because I tend to do like a one read of the set of chapters in order to summarize and then do another read of them in order to pull quotes and things. So I don't know what you consider, how many reads you consider that. And then when we were recording episodes, I try to listen to the audio of them the day that we're recording them or like the 2 days before just to refresh. So
Yeah.
a lot. The answer's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
It does not exist.
How many times do you count that on Goodreads, though?
Ugh.
Does it
Oh,
count
I
as
moved to
5?
StoryGraph so I
I
could do it
know.
multiple times.
I've moved to margins now. I count every single one. To
Yeah,
be
you should.
honest.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
count every single one, and
I agree.
I'm not ashamed of that because that is
That's
a
a heck ton
lot
of
of
work.
pages. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a ton.
pages.
Yeah.
I stand by that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
I kind of love actually talking to you guys about this because of the fact that we approach the
Yeah.
podcast episode so differently. It's just always so fun to hear
Yes.
how
It's
you all
refreshing.
experience it. And yeah, it's fun for me. I really like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I've
feel
read
like-
it once,
too.
so
Yeah.
And you're like, and I am good. Thank
We
you.
read it one time.
and I didn't mark it down anywhere. The only ones who know I did it were me and them. So
Okay, it's almost the difference between like watching a TV show back in the day when you had to wait till the episode aired every Friday versus like binge watching it and being able to like read it. Like you guys have to wait until the episode drops every Friday. Like you can only read a set of chapters at a time. Like I bet that really changes the way that you digest a book in general, right?
It does.
You guys have a lot of patience, honestly, because I would
You learn
cheat.
patience.
I would
You
cheat a
learn
lot.
patience.
For who cheats?
You cheat.
Who cheats?
Yeah, show of hands.
John
who
cheated
cheats?
once. I think.
John cheats.
But,
Okay.
but he
John-
wasn't a first time.
He was a
rereading.
rereader.
Okay.
But it was rude because it was the end of Era of Fire and I had to wait. And
No,
John
Queen of
just read to the
Shadows.
end of the book. Oh, Queen of Shadows. And John just finished
Yeah.
the book 2 weeks ahead or whatever. And I was like,
Yeah.
Funny. It's so fun though because I'm a fan and so I was listening to your Air of Fire coverage while I was
Honored.
reading Air of Fire.
the hair the hair toss was nice.
I was like, hey, big fan, first time caller, long time listener. And it was so fun because I'd be like, okay, I got to get to the end of chapter 18 and then I'll listen to and it's just fun because it was different. I was like, oh yeah, I wonder about that. Meanwhile, then I do all of our episode editing. And so by the time an episode airs, I have listened to our episode about 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And I can tell you like the tone in our voice and this and that and
Yep.
that sound. And so it was fun to do that because it's like, oh, the theories are different. And then the next episode, it's like, oh, remember when we talked about this? Meanwhile, we're trying to connect things in episode 1 because we're like, oh, we're going to get there. But like, let's put a pin in this. I think we say that like all the time. So it's fun and different and I appreciate it. And I feel like what's even more fun for me is I can say, read along with our friends. And then when you're done, come to us.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
We do that all the time.
Yeah.
And just like do your first read and then for me too, like and then getting to go to a deep dive podcast and seeing all the other stuff that we missed because we didn't know that in chapter 1. It's really fun. And
is
it's
fun
a lot of
to-
work and we really appreciate that you guys do that. So we can
Yes.
listen.
So much.
It is really fun too. Like as Lauren said, we usually have 2 rereaders and 2 new readers, and I feel like we sometimes get back at each other with the chapter cutoffs. I know that like Lauren and I were talking about this new book, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna make them stop right here and
We
wait.
did the worst.
Yeah.
They're
Gonna have to wait a whole
chapter
week.
section.
And then like whenever I'm
hilarious.
the new reader, I feel like it does take a lot more patience because of that. Because I have no idea what's to come up, and I just gotta okay, I guess I'll just stop and then talk about that. And but yeah,
Because we try to find a
being the
good
rereader is
stop,
little
like a
fun.
stopping point that would spark a lot of theories.
Yeah.
But that
Right.
usually means we're always stopping at a huge cliffhanger of some sort.
Of course.
That might not
Yeah.
even be that big of a cliffhanger, but because we stopped
Yeah.
there, it makes it seem
It
like
feels like
it's
it.
such a bigger deal.
Ooh, good to know. Well, I am fully planning to be a first-time reader of Dungeon Crawler Crawl with you guys.
Yay! That's so
Because
exciting. Have your
it
husband
is
do
my
it too.
husband's favorite. He has read it 3 times through.
Oh,
Amazing.
As he
He's
should.
obsessed.
Wouldn't
with
work.
Dungeon. We have the audio book, we have
Oh,
the
good,
physical
good.
book, and we
Yes,
have the Kindle.
yes.
So we have all of
Yeah.
them. And he has told me I
Amazing.
Kyle
have
just
to do
bought the
both.
paperback this week, even though we have the
Nice.
hardback.
Anyway, so I'm excited about that because I'm like, oh, well, I guess if the friends are doing it. And my husband's like, really? I've been asking you for 8 months to do this.
Maybe you
love
should
it.
start a podcast with me, Nick, and then we could do it.
He'd be like, it was
I
good.
still think
I
he
liked
should
it.
read and listen with you, and then he can be your rereader, and you're
That's
the
true.
first
He
reader.
probably would. To be honest, he probably would. He reads book. He inhales books, so he would probably do it again.
yeah.
All right, well, to close out this book with something fun, we've prepared some Brimstone Mad Libs to fill out with you guys. We'll call out which words we need, and then we'll read the story back.
Okay.
So this is a shorter one. That's what she said. But there's still a lot of words in it. Okay, so I need 3 verbs.
Dang.
All right,
I
one
almost
each.
said a bad
Just
word.
shout them out. You can.
it.
That's
Let's go.
Say
You're
it.
allowed.
Do it.
Mine
You're
is
an adult.
Fuck.
lick.
Fuck.
Okay,
Ooh.
great. Lick
Run.
is great.
Run.
We already have fuck and lick. I feel like you need something a
No,
little
that's
bit calmer.
funny.
Spank.
That'd be funny.
There you
Spank. That's a
go.
good.
There
That's
you go.
great. I love that. Okay, 3 nouns.
Carrion.
Wheel.
Dog.
Spelled with a W to get her out.
Yeah, you gotta say it like that too.
Okay, not a proper noun, so I can't use carrion. Can we do one more noun?
Cloak.
All right. Oh God. Okay.
Technically, carrion is not a proper noun
Ooh,
because
got
that's
her.
not his
Got
name.
her.
true. You right.
Ooh, burn. Catherine's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Okay, verb, please.
One. You're saying just one?
Yes.
I was like, that's not a
Like, this is a number.
I was like, wait,
You're cute.
2, 1?
I was like, win.
Fly.
Oh, fly. I like fly.
Fly.
Plural noun.
Penises.
It's peni, actually.
Fly penises.
Oh, God.
Noun.
I'm sorry. This is terrible.
This is great. This is excellent. This makes it better.
I mean, these are also going into an excerpt from Brimstone, so who knows what's about to happen. Like,
Right.
It's going to be so much fun to edit.
noun.
Treasure chest.
wow, that was a very quick response.
Wow.
You had that ready to go.
Verb.
Swim.
Oh, okay. And 3 adjectives. That's our last thing.
Shiny.
Swiftly.
She's got one.
That's
person
an
on her
adverb.
mind.
Oh, that's an adverb. Yeah.
Oh, that's an
Yeah.
adverb.
Shiny.
I got shiny.
You're gonna be.
I'm so shiny. Thank you.
Gooey.
Oh, okay. Okay, one more.
Slippery.
Tiny.
Slippery.
Pretty.
Slippery.
Ooh,
Slippery.
slippery.
That's a good one.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So I picked this specific excerpt because I figured
so
it might be the most recognizable because it was shared prior to the book being released. So the excerpt, just in case, for reference, I'm going to read the original one first, and then I'm going to read ours back. Okay, so the original excerpt is from chapter 29, Fortunes of the Universe. And
Tell
it
me more.
is a line from Kingfisher to Saris that reads, I'd spend the fortunes of the universe to protect you. I'd drain the seas dry, fell every tree. I would sacrifice the sun from the fucking sky and surrender the stars too, if I could. But those things aren't mine to give. All I have is my life. It isn't much, but I'd spend it and consider the price small if it meant keeping you safe. Here's our version.
What did
Oh,
we
we
just
ruined
do?
it.
We made it better. Here we go.
We made it better. Okay. Tell us.
I'd fuck the fortunes of the wheel to protect you. I'd lick the seas dry, spank every tree. I would sacrifice the dog from the fucking cloak and read the stars too if I could. But those
I see
penises
nothing wrong
aren't
so
mine
far.
to fly.
Nothing. Wait, what?
Say that again.
Say that again.
But those penises aren't mine to fly. All I have is my treasure chest. It isn't shiny, but I'd swim it and consider the price gooey if it meant keeping you slippery.
Same
I feel like-
general
That's
concept,
gross.
right?
Yeah. Those penises aren't mine to fly is going to be my next, like, not my circus, not my
Aren't mine to
monkey sort of
fly,
thing.
yeah.
Like,
Pretty fly for a white guy.
that's not my penis to fly.
Oh, not the penis to fly.
All I have is my treasure chest.
I don't have-
We should
might
write a
not
book
be
together.
slippery,
That was
but
great.
it is
Yeah. I mean, listen, I feel like I still got the same general concept
Yeah.
of
Message
what you're
received.
trying to
Yeah,
say.
he likes her.
so-
I'm gonna go spank some trees. I mean, I don't know about you guys.
Those are not my penises to fly. Can you
Not my
title
penis to
episodes? Can that be
fly.
the title of this episode?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go. That
Yep.
was fun.
I love it.
Oh my God.
Oh, I want to do that again. That was fun.
Those are fun.
Well, we'll wrap it up real quick and then let you guys go. This was amazing. Thanks for taking the time to share your story and chat about all things Brimstone with us.
Thank you so much
Thanks
for
for
having
having
us. This
us.
was so fun. You guys are the
Yeah,
best.
we love you guys.
We love you.
And for our listeners, if you're not already following Banter and Bookmarks, this is your moment. Literally, what are you waiting for? Ladies, tell the lovely people, please, where to follow you and stay up to date on all things you have going on.
Yeah, Instagram is where we are most active. We are also on TikTok. You can find our episodes on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, all the places that you might listen. And yeah, just come hang out with us. Send us a DM and let's talk about some feral unhinged theories together.
Yeah. Do we want to say what we're covering next?
Yes.
You guys will be the first ones to
Oh
hear
my
it.
God.
So we are going to do a one-off episode before we get into our next deep dive. We have all previously read Project Hail Mary and really love that book. And so with the movie coming out, we're going to do a one-off just Project Hail Mary episode for
Nice.
funsies. Yep. So we're very excited about some Rocky coverage.
Yeah.
here.
Amaze.
And then I can probably take the book off my
amaze.
shelf. The next deep dive that we're going to do. You good with that?
Yay! I'm so excited about that. Look, I got it right here.
Yep.
Yes, I saw it and I was like, does she
know that one.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
So for those of you that are listening and not watching, we are covering Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. So what we're going to do, because the new book is coming out, but we will actually be in the middle of our Furybound coverage when that comes out. So we're going to cover Shield of Sparrows, jump to Furybound, and then jump back to book 2, which is Rights of the Starling. So those are actually our next 4 books that we're
You're welcome.
You've heard it here
So
first.
there's 2026.
There you
And
That takes us through the summer. Yeah.
We are locked in for the summer, and we're really excited about
That's awesome.
covering all of those. Yep.
I'm excited for those. I will definitely be
Me
listening.
too.
Hey. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We are big fans of you and just thankful to have you as friends. And thanks for being here.
Same.
Appreciate
Oh my
it.
God.
Yeah.
Same.
It was fun hanging out with the guys this time too.
I know.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
We were like, oh God, is it going to be like, what's it going to be like? There's 7 of us, but I feel
made it.
like we can all hang. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
It was good. We can't wait for next time we get to be on each other's podcasts, and hopefully one day we'll see each other in person at an event.
Yeah.
Yes.
To make it happen.
Make it
That'd be
happen.
great.
Yep. All right.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks.
guys.
Bye, guys.
Huge thank you to Lindsey, Kelly, and Katharine for taking some time to chat with us. Make sure you follow them online at Banter and Bookmarks to keep up with all the amazing things that they have going on.
This officially concludes all of our coverage for Brimstone. Next week, we'll be diving into our first chapter section of Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman, and we cannot wait to cover this series and share it with you.
If you're not sure what Dungeon Crawler Carl is or are unfamiliar with the lit RPG genre, we've got you covered. Check out our intro episode to DCC episodes that came out last week, wherever you stream podcasts.
Lastly, if you'd like to stay in the know on all things BP&F, give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok at Between Pages and Friends, and make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. As always, thank you for being here and for reading with us.
Until next time, stay wordy, stay nerdy, don't stress, and stay blessed.
See you in the dungeon.
See you in the apocalypse.
The world is ending.
Hope you survive.
The sky is falling.